Enforcement Directorate summons to Aap convener and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is the big political story at the moment. Mr. Kejriwal has decided to skip the summons. He has written to the Enforcement Directorate saying he's busy campaigning for the upcoming state polls and has dashed off to Madhya Pradesh instead. But he's also called the ED summons as vague, as in the nature of a fishing and roving inquiry, which doesn't specify in what capacity he's being summoned, whether it's as a witness or as a suspect and so on. The story, of course, is not going to end there. The ED, remember, does have significant powers and is very likely going to issue him a fresh summons, and he will eventually be forced to appear before them. The question, though, is, will Mr. Kejriwal be arrested by the ED? That is a very likely possibility, and this all has huge repercussions for the Aam Aadmi Party. If you look at the party which came to power a decade ago and came into the headlines a decade ago on a massive anti-corruption plank, the string of arrests by investigating agencies, the raids that their leaders and others have faced over the last couple of years or so, they have to an extent dented the Aam Aadmi Party's image. Though at the same time, voters also realize that most of the ED's cases in the last 10 years, the political cases at least, have been against opposition politicians alone. So voters aren't stupid, they realize what's happening here. But the fact that higher courts have also denied bail to AAP leaders, like the Supreme Court denying bail to Manish Sisodia in the liquor policy case only days earlier, that too could have an impact amongst voters, which always saw the AAP on a very clean anti-corruption plank. But for the AAP, there are other repercussions because Mr. Kejriwal is their convener, he's their leader. And if he is indeed arrested, the party has now gone into a huddle to figure out who exactly would lead them into the state polls and, more importantly, the general elections if Mr. Kejriwal is out of action for some time. It's explosive times and the final act has not yet been played.